All right, in this video, we are going to be going through the past 10 Best Actor winners for the Oscars. I'm going to be giving you who I think should have won the Oscar. And then I'm going to disagree with the Academy a little bit. On some, I'm going to agree. But I'm excited to know your guys' thoughts, so stick with me as we do this journey right now. What's going on, everybody, and welcome back to the channel. I hope you guys are doing well. My name is Tyson, and we are here to talk about movies. That's right, we do movie reviews, movie trailer reactions. We cover major movie news on our Mint One podcast. We do movie rankings, and of course, we do Oscar Mondays. And if you like that kind of stuff, well, check us out and subscribe. We're on the way to 1,000 subscribers. I'd love to have you guys along with us for that journey. We recently just passed 400 subscribers. So I really appreciate all of you taking the time out of your day to watch my videos. All right, with that done and out of the way, let's get on into it. Best Actor. Who do I think should have won for the past 10 years? How often do I agree with the Academy? Well, let's find out right now, but definitely let me know your opinions and your list down below in the comments. I'm going to be giving you who I think should have won, and then at the end of this video, I'm going to be ranking all 10 performances from my least favorite to favorite. All these are great. It's going to be hard to do, but I'm going to attempt at doing that list. So let's dive on into it. 2013, the nominees were Christian Bale, Bruce Dern, Leonardo DiCaprio, Chiwetel Ejiofor, and Matthew McConaughey. Now, Matthew McConaughey did get the win here. Great performance, it really is. However, this is the year where I would give Leonardo DiCaprio his first Oscar. And yeah, I think he just killed it in this role. I think this is his best performance to date still. And I think the screenplay really gave DiCaprio enough meat to just attack and show all of his possibilities in here. I mean, his comedic tones are great. His dramatic tones, fantastic. And emotional tones as well. I think all of it rolled up to one is fantastic in here. I love this movie. I love his energy in this film. And I really think this performance is something special. So I'm giving DiCaprio his first Oscar here in 2013 for The Wolf of Wall Street. All right, 2014, the nominees were Steve Carell, Bradley Cooper, Benedict Cumberbatch, Michael Keaton, and Eddie Redmayne for The Theory of Everything. And Eddie Redmayne won this year for The Theory of Everything, playing Stephen Hawking. While I think that is a fantastic performance, I understand why he won, I really do. I would give this one to Benedict Cumberbatch for playing Alan Turing. I think he did a fantastic job in here. I think it is brilliant. The emotion he brings, the way he moves, the way he speaks, the way he goes about certain things. You really feel like he's embodying this character. And it's done to a perfection that I love. Cumberbatch is one of the best working actors today, in my opinion, and one of my favorites. And I think this is still his best performance to date. So that is why I would give him the win here in 2014. All right, moving on into 2015, we have Bryan Cranston, Matt Damon, Leonardo DiCaprio, Michael Fassbender, and Eddie Redmayne as the nominees here. And this was the year when the Academy thought it was the best time to give Leonardo DiCaprio his first Oscar. I just think he won it for the wrong role. A good role. I think The Revenant's okay, but I just don't think he should have won it here. And I actually think, this might be a little underrated, but I think Michael Fassbender should have won it for playing Steve Jobs. I love this movie. It's on the wall back here somewhere. And it's just one of my favorites to rewatch. And that is, of course, I love Apple and I love Steve Jobs. Very complex character. And I think that Michael Fassbender did a great job at breaking down who is Steve Jobs and breaking down these amazing 3 acts of his life that Aaron Sorkin put to screen. And I think he just did that to perfection. He did it beautifully. Steve Jobs, like I said, a complex character. But I think Fassbender did an amazing job finding the points, doing the research on how best to portray Jobs. And I think he did the job. And that is why I would give him the Oscar here for his performance. All right, moving on into 2016. We have the nominees as Casey Affleck, Andrew Garfield, Ryan Gosling, Viggo Mortensen, and Denzel Washington. And Casey Affleck won here for Manchester by the Sea. Again, I understand why. I actually did just do a video revisiting, I know this is the 2016 movies, but the Oscars for this year happened in 2017. So up on the channel, you can look. I did a whole video on who I would have chosen to win at the 2017 Oscars for the major categories. So go check that one out. But I wouldn't give this one to Casey Affleck. Instead, I would switch it, and I would give it to Andrew Garfield for Hacksaw Ridge. I just think, first of all, I love this movie. I think it's something very special. But I think the way Andrew Garfield played this war hero, kind of, underlooked, brave, courageous, but also dealt with his own emotional trauma for the war, for World War II that this is based on. And I think the way of this complex character, this emotional performance, this dramatic performance, it needed an actor to take care of that. And I think Garfield really came into his own here and really showed us how great of an actor he truly can be. I think this is one of his best performances, which is why I would just give him the Oscar for Hacksaw Ridge. I think he just encompassed this character beautifully in all the complex ways and themes of this movie. So that is why I would give it to him. Moving on into 2017, we got the nominees of Timothée Chalamet, Daniel Day-Lewis, Daniel Kaluuya, Gary Oldman, and Denzel Washington. This one went to Gary Oldman for The Darkest Hour, and while I think he did a fantastic job playing Winston Churchill, definitely disappeared into the character, I would give this one to Daniel Kaluuya for Get Out. I will never forget the scene where his character Chris is in the chair, the mom tells him to go to sleep, sink into the floor, and he just sinks. And you can see his eyes, the tears he has in them, the water, and they feel like they're bulging out of his head. He looks truly terrified. That is the standout scene for me in that film. One of the most standout scenes for him as an actor. And I think just that movie does a great job showing the talent of Daniel Kaluuya. He is a phenomenal actor. Of course, he did actually get his own Oscar in 2020 for Best Supporting Actor. But I would have given him this one for Best Actor in 2017. Not only because of that scene, but just for what he does for the entire movie. It's just brilliant. All right, 2018. This is the year. Christian Bale, Bradley Cooper, William Dafoe, Rami Malek, and Viggo Mortensen. I say this is a year because this is probably the most criticized Best Actor winner. It was given to Rami Malek for Bohemian Rhapsody. A lot of people didn't like that. I think this hands down should have gone to Bradley Cooper for A Star is Born. I think what he does here as Jackson Maine is fantastic. It is beautiful. He also directed this film and should have been nominated for Best Director. Easy. Should have. Anyway, I think this character, it's so complex. This guy, he's kind of on the edge. He's kind of fallen out of the music world. So we see him go through so many changes in this movie. And the emotion, the heartache, and ultimately we see which way he leans towards the end of this film, and we see his character's end. And just the way that Cooper was able to give that dramatic, emotional performance of this complex character is just fantastic. And it's a masterclass on itself. Again, like the trauma this man has to go through, dealing with suicide. And of course, he has this wonderful woman in his life, Allie, who he connects to on a serious level. But he still chooses to leave all that behind because of the pain he's holding. You can really see that through Cooper's performance, and you feel like you're right there with him, which makes you have such a connection to his character. So that is why I would give Bradley Cooper the win here for A Star is Born. All right, 2019. We got Antonio Banderas, Leonardo DiCaprio, Adam Driver, Joaquin Phoenix, and Jonathan Pryce. Joaquin Phoenix won it for Joker, and yeah, I would have given it to Joaquin Phoenix. I think he is brilliant in this role. I mean, Joker, a very iconic character, played brilliantly by by a handful of actors, but most notably, I would say, by Heath Ledger. Joaquin Phoenix did a great job at separating. I think all of the attempts at Joker have been a different type, but I do think that Joaquin and Heath Ledger are the best two at playing the role, and they are so different, but yet so beautiful and complex at the same time. And Joaquin really brought his own, and I think he is, for how complex this character, I think he is only one of the actors that could play this character to the brilliance that he did. I mean, honestly, the transformation we see here from the character of Arthur Fleck at the beginning, we see him transform all the way to Joker at the end. It's a hard performance. It's a hard one to do. And Joaquin does that just beautifully. I'm so excited to see the sequel. I really am. To see where they go with it, to see where Joaquin takes this character even further. But this character, his performance makes you question life. It makes you question the society we're living in, because it's almost like in this one that the society impacts the character and the society makes him become Joker. And you can see all of that in all of its themes and all of its rhythms and all of its complexity and the performances from Joaquin Phoenix. And that is why he definitely deserved this Oscar for this year. All right, moving on into 2020, we have Chadwick Boseman, Anthony Hopkins, Riz Ahmed, Stephen Yeun, and Gary Oldman. This one went to Anthony Hopkins for The Father, and I would have given it to Anthony Hopkins for The Father. I think that this performance is heartbreaking. It is a triumph in acting, and it is a masterclass, and it is just brilliant. The way that dementia has affected his character here, it's just heartbreaking. And I think it's more beautiful because you see how it doesn't only affect him, but it affects his family. It affects Olivia Colman in here. And I think the best part about this movie is how it translates and relates to a lot of people, or how a lot of people can relate to this story. And that's what I've heard from a lot of people who have seen this one and have had to deal with this problem in their own families. And it is so heartbreaking that so many people have to deal with this, because, I couldn't even imagine going through that myself, or being a part of a family where a family member that I love is going through that. And you feel like you're a part of this family while watching this movie. And you feel like you're right there with Olivia Colman watching the brilliance of Anthony Hopkins' work in this film. And because you feel like you're right there, you're so invested in this story. You're so invested in him. And you feel his frustration, when he can't remember things. But yet in his mind, he's remembering it right. But when you have somebody else telling you, no, you're wrong, how can you not remember this? You almost feel attacked, I'm sure, and you just feel confused. And I'm sure that's not a great feeling to feel. And you see all of it. You see the complexity. You see the raw emotion that Hopkins gives here. I just think it's brilliant. I really do. It's emotional. It's gripping. You're on the edge of your seat through this film. And it's all because of him. So, Anthony Hopkins, well-deserved for Best Actor. In 2021, we got the nominees, and they are Javier Bardem, Benedict Cumberbatch, Andrew Garfield, Will Smith, and Denzel Washington. They gave it to Will Smith here for King Richard. That's a tough one, because I think that performance definitely was one of the best of that year. The only one I would possibly give it to over him is Andrew Garfield for Tick, Tick, Boom. I don't know what I'm going to do, even though I'm recording. I think I'm going to go with Andrew Garfield, actually, for Tick, Tick, Boom. Yeah. I'll go with him over Will Smith. And that is because Andrew Garfield in here brings so many talents on screen. I think that Lin-Manuel Miranda being behind the camera really gave Andrew Garfield the musical gift that he needed in this film. Obviously, you got that musical talent, but then you also have the dramatic tones in the film and the emotion, not feeling like your work's ever appreciated, but yet you put in all this hard work and you just want something to pay off. It eventually does for his character. But the journey that it takes to get there, the sacrifice it takes to get there, and the emotion that we see Garfield bring here, I mean, come on. It's just something special. It really is. So that's why I would give Andrew Garfield the win here in 2021. All right. And then we got the latest year, 2022 nominees. Andrew Butler. Oh my gosh. Austin Butler, Colin Farrell, Brendan Fraser, Paul Mescal, and Bill Nighy. I covered this year extensively. It's up on the channel. But if you have been with me for a while, I wanted Brendan Fraser to win this one. And I'm so glad he did. I would have given it to him, hands down. I just think his performance is so emotional. It's breathtaking. It's hard to watch at times, but you feel his pain and you feel his wrongs. He's not a perfect human being. And you can see that on screen. I think he does a brilliant job, connecting with the audience on the fact that you do things wrong in life. But if you really care, you will work your butt off to fix them before your time is coming. And I think there's no better example than seeing him in this role. It's breathtaking, and it's hard to watch. It really is. I see in here, a lot of people were like, I want Austin Butler to win for Elvis. I want Colin Farrell to win for Banshees of Inisherin. Going into the Oscar year, it was really between those three. And then it started getting down to the two, Butler and Brendan. And while I'm glad it went to Brendan Fraser, I understand why people would want it to go to Austin Butler and Colin Farrell as well. They both gave amazing, brilliant, beautiful performances. But I personally just think that Brendan Fraser does come up on top, and I also love the story behind his journey to get to this point as well. So, guys, that's my take on the Best Actor winners for the past 10 years. What do you guys think? Let me know down below. And right now, it's time to rank them. How would I rank these performances from my least favorite to favorite? Even though that's not even a fair term, and they're both great. But I got to do it. I said I was going to, so here we go. All right. This is gonna be tough, but okay. Here we go. Whew. Coming in at number 10, I'm gonna put Andrew Garfield for Tick, Tick, Boom. Coming in at number 9, Benedict Cumberbatch for The Imitation Game. Number 8, Michael Fassbender for Steve Jobs. Number 7, Andrew Garfield for Hacksaw Ridge. Number 6, Brendan Fraser for The Whale. Number 5, Daniel Kaluuya for Get Out. Number 4, Leonardo DiCaprio for The Wolf of Wall Street. Number 3, Bradley Cooper for A Star is Born. This is where it gets tough as the top 2 because I think both of these are fantastic. But number 2, I'm going to say Joaquin Phoenix for Joker. And number 1, Anthony Hopkins for The Father. That was tough. I know some of that may be crazy for some of you out there. Some of you may not agree with it. But that's my ranking, and that's who I would have chosen for each year. As you can see, I got Andrew Garfield on there twice. He's a phenomenal actor. But I have Anthony Hopkins at number 1 because of that raw emotion and the feeling of being in the room with him the entire movie. You know, it takes place mostly in that apartment. And you feel like you're right there with him, watching this man just dwindle away, almost. And I don't know, I think that feeling, I've seen The Father so many times, and I keep on going back to it because of his great, emotional, impactful performances for me, just as an audience member. I think it's the best one of his entire career. And this is a man who has been one of the best actors for a very long time, for decades. And I think his performance in 2020 was the best one he's ever given. I mean, that's saying something. I think a lot of people would say Joaquin Phoenix for Joker. Hey, I see it. I get it. He's phenomenal. I love him. That's why he's number 2. And I think only him could be as great as he was in that role for that version of Joker. Yeah, I mean, you guys know why I love all these performances. I just gave you all the reasons. So let me know yours down below in the comments. Really excited to hear your guys' thoughts on this topic. Let me know if you've enjoyed this Oscar Mondays video. Again, we are on the way to 1,000 subscribers. I would love to have your guys' support as we go along on that journey and share this channel to anybody who loves entertainment content. We do it all here every single week. So, with that being said, guys, my name is Tyson. Be safe out there. Have a good week. Have a good day, a good night, whatever time you're watching this. And thank you guys for watching. It means a lot. And I hope to see you guys on the next one.